All right, Algebra, this is lesson 2.2, solving inequalities using addition and subtraction. So this is going to be a lot like how we solved for regular equations, where you're moving back and forth, adding or subtracting. You're doing the opposite of whatever the sign currently is to switch it to the other side of the equal sign. Tell me what the definition of equivalent inequalities is. Eliana.
An inequality that have the same solution.
So an inequality that have the same solution. Very good. So you're using properties of inequality. These are very similar to the properties we did earlier for equations. The addition property of inequality is if it's a negative number, to move it to the other side, you're going to add it. If you add the same number to both sides of an inequality, then it should still be a true statement. For instance, we have a negative 3 is less than 2. Is that correct? Yes, negative 3 is smaller than 2. If I add 4 to both of those, is my statement still correct? I would get 1 is less than 6. Is that still correct? Yes. So that is the definition of an addition property of inequality. Whatever you add to both sides, the statement should still be true. If you look on the right one, negative 3 is greater than or equal to negative 10. Is that correct? Yes. If I add 3 to it, plus 3, I get 0 is greater than or equal to negative 7. Is that still true? Yes. So those are two examples. If this is a little confusing at all, I would write this in your journal. If it's off the top of your head, you don't have to.
So wait, how do you get the 4?
They just picked a number. Yeah, they just picked a number. They're just testing to see if the inequality remains true if I change the numbers. So this diagram is kind of a way you can visualize the addition property of an inequality as long as C is greater than 0. So we had originally here the red, A is greater than B. A minute ago it was negative 3 is greater than negative 10, right? If I add the same number, which would be C here, if I add the same number to both of those sides of the equation, all I'm doing is transferring that equation or inequality further down the number line. So this A became the A plus the C that we're adding, and the B transferred to B plus the C. It's just a visual for you guys. All right, so let's look at the example. This is example 1. We're going to solve this first and then graph the solution on a number line. So the first step is to write it down. Now I'm trying to get x by itself, so the first step is to move anything next to the x. So since it's a minus 6, we're going to add 6. Very good. Surprise, surprise, addition property of equality. So what is negative 10 plus 6? Negative 4. So then x is greater than or equal to negative 4. And then we draw a number line. Again, I don't require all the numbers. Just put a 0 and a negative 4 for all I care. Is it an open or closed circle? Closed. And which way am I shading? To the right, because x is greater. Yep. Any questions?
No, man.
Excellent. All right. You have 3 problems to start on, so let's get going.
Wait, so if you say we just gotta solve the inequality?
Yep. So you're solving for the variable, and then graph it.
On the computer?
Yep. Nah. You can just say numbers 1 through 3 on the computer for all I care. All right. So this is subtraction property of inequality. So very similar to addition. If I subtract the same number from both sides and the new inequality is still true, then I've run it correctly. Do you want me to go through this, or do you think you understand the concept? Okay. Just checking. It's just the same thing, only we're subtracting. All right, so let's go do the example. Hold on, my face needs to follow me. Come on, face. There we go. All right, solve each inequality. So write down A, y plus 8 is less than or equal to 5. So what do we need to move?
Minus 8.
We need to subtract 8 from both sides. Very good. So y is less than or equal to negative 3. So draw your number line. Yep, and a 0. Always do the 0. Is it on which number?
-3.
And open or close circle? Closed circle.
To the left.
And y is less than, so it's going to the left. All right, let's do B. -8 is less than 1.4 plus m. How do I get m by itself?
You subtract 1.4.
Subtract 1.4 from both sides. So what is -8 minus 1.4?
-9.4.
Very good. So -9.4 is less than m. Draw your number line. Again, just a 0 and a 9.4 is fine as long as it's on the correct side of the 0. Because it's a -9.4. So where am I putting my dot? And is it open or closed?
Open.
Open circle. And which way am I shading?
Right.
Because it's
Greater than.
greater than. Because m is greater than. You guys are doing good. All right, let me guess. 3 more try it's. Woo. I'm monitoring progress. Ooh, short and sweet today.
Isn't that an album?
It happens sometimes. All right, so this will be example 3. No, you're making me want to block it all over again. I was trying to give you all a little bit of rope.
Not on school property. A little bit of leeway.
Yes. All right, example 3. A circuit overloads at 1800 watts of electricity. So don't go over 1800, it'll blow up your microwave. No, it just pops the circuit. You plug a microwave oven that uses 1100 watts of electricity into the circuit. Write and solve an inequality that represents how many watts you can add to the circuit without overloading it. And then B, in addition to the microwave oven, which of the following appliances could you plug into the circuit at the same time without overloading the circuit? So the first thing, we're going to make an inequality using this 1800 watts of electricity and that we have an 1100 watt microwave. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So how many watts are used by the microwave?
1800.
1100. The microwave uses 1100. Plus, we're going to add additional watts of what? We don't know. So that's going to be a variable, correct? And that needs to be less than 1800. If we hit 1800, we will overload and the circuit will pop. So then there's the algebra. Write down 1100 plus W, because W for watts. If you put X, that would also be true. Is less than 1800.
Yes.
All right, so now we have an inequality, but we need to simplify this inequality. How would I simplify it? Correct.
Yes.
So then we would subtract that, and you would get W has to be less than 700. Because we're already plugging in the microwave. We know this. So now we can go look at our list of other appliances and add up to what we can. They don't even let me go back to see it. All right, we're going to go back a page. A little bit.
We can do like blender and
I need to make my own math curriculum.
yes.
All right, so which appliances, if we have to stay under 700 more, what appliances can we add to the microwave?
Hot radio blender.
Yep. You can't add anything else. The hot plate and the toaster would both trip it just on their own.
It would just
Yep. So that's part B. You can add the clock radio and the blender. Any questions? All right, do number 7 and then you're done for the day.